Talmor, Shishin Marachi. Talmor is my home. My family have worked the land for generations. My gran says the island does not belong to us, but we belong to the island. And we must be ready, for a great evil is coming, and death follows with it.
Listen and subscribe to the latest season of Undertow, The Harrowing, a Storyglass production presented by Realm, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Burntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I uncover the blasphemous truth of a plague-ridden world, that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The Heresies of Radolf Burntwine, coming January 2nd, wherever podcasts are available.
Hello, world, and welcome back to another episode of Thanks for Coming In. I'm your host, Jillian Clare. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the show where I speak to fellow actors about their journeys and they share some fun audition stories. It's usually a hoot and we have a good time. So welcome. Thank you for listening. And if you are listening, please hit that subscribe button and leave us a star or two and a review. It greatly helps. I know you're sick of hearing that from podcasters, but it does help us. So please do that. Today on the show, we have Maryam Basir. She is the star of the brand new series Lace on ALLBLK, a really amazing new platform that you guys, if you're not already, subscribing to that and hitting up that platform, you should, because there's some amazing content. And I was so excited to talk to Maryam. So here is our conversation. And welcome to the show, Miss Maryam Basir.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm happy to have you, and I'm excited to talk to you about everything that you've been working on, including your new show, Lace. But let's go back to the beginning and tell me a little bit about how you got started in this wild industry.
Yes, a wild industry it is. The way that I got started is, well, as a kid, I never really thought about being an actor. I never thought of it as like a possibility for me. I was just always a very creative child who liked to do different endeavors, like, make jewelry. And I was into fashion and doing hair. And just like, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur one day, and that was all I knew. And I knew that I was creative, that I loved to paint and draw and just anything creative I was into. So And I'll tell you a little story about me and my sisters. We had a company called Sisters 3 where we made jewelry and sold the jewelry at art fairs in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And
love that. So cute.
And so from there, I mean, my mother always encouraged like creativity and just to kind of express ourselves in different ways. And I have an aunt who lives in New York who I used to come see a lot when I was a kid, or a few times when I was a kid. And I just knew the first time I visited New York, I have to live in New York. I have to be there. So I graduated.
You catch that New York bug and it's like done. You're just like, I need to be there.
I have to, right? So I moved here after school, and it was a random story. A security guard stopped me at the bank, and I was just there one day, and he goes, "Have you ever thought about like acting or modeling?" And I'm like, no, not really, but that kind of put a bug in my ear because he was like really encouraging me, you should really go after it, and so I did. I went to an agency, and then they ended up signing me. So that's where kind of like my career began. And from there, it just kind of like grew. So I started getting into like, commercials and a lot of modeling and, what else? Yeah, pretty much that's it. And I got like a couple stable gigs, like as a swimwear fit model for a bunch of different swim brands, and just a lot of things in the same world. So from there, a lot of work. One of the groundbreaking things was SVU. They say any actor that comes they have to go through SVU.
Yeah. If you
So
live in New York, you have to be on SVU. Like, it's like a staple.
yes. So so once I got the acting bug, and once I just started doing more and more work, um, it led me to different like guest star, co-starring roles, and one of the greatest was SVU that I enjoyed so much.
Yeah.
And that was in 2021 that
Okay.
aired. And what's that 2020? Listen, everything's a blur right now.
Years don't make sense anymore.
Oh,
They just don't.
was it 2020? Because one of these years just kind of went, and it just seemed like it didn't happen. I don't remember which one it was.
Honestly, the last two have seemed like
Yeah,
a complete little meld of time.
let's combine it all. We'll call it 2020/2021.
Ish.
Ish. Yeah, ish. There you go. So I did SVU, and then shortly after that, I did a film called Holiday Heartbreak, which was my first time leading as a lead actress in a feature film that was like televised and actualized and like premiered on the
Amazing.
networks and stuff. So and it's actually, they re-released it on Tubi, so it's available now on Tubi. Holiday
Heck
Heartbreak.
yeah.
And that is the film that I won Best Actress in a feature film for the HAPA Awards. So I'm very proud of that.
Amazing. Woo-woo.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. And yeah, so from there, that was in late 2021. That was December 2021 where that aired. And so after that, Lace came about, and the producers called me. It was actually a funny story. My manager, my manager called me. It was like a Friday evening. He's like, listen, these people really want to talk to you. They want you to do this show called Lace. And he's like, they want to talk to you today. He said, I told them to send me the script, and then you guys can talk on Monday. So you guys can have a video call on Monday with the two producers, Michelle and Katrina. So so he said that he was in a nor'easter storm and just like driving his car, and they called him. They're like, look, pull over now. We have to get Maryam.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, pull over, So he pulls over in the nor'easter. She gives him all the deets, and then so we have this video call on Monday. And from the call, before I even got the call, I read the first page of the script, and I'm like, oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Like so much drama, scandal, and the show is called Lace. I play Lacey McCullough, this prolific Los Angeles attorney, and it's kind of like it's a dream role for anyone who would want to play it. So I was so honored to be able to be a part of the show. And like we were talking about earlier, it's like on such a groundbreaking network, ALLBLK, the first streaming network of its kind.
It's incredible. I mean, to be a lead actress leading an entire television series on a network that is literally like groundbreaking and breaking the glass ceiling and just kicking ass. I mean, that's so flippin' cool.
Yeah, I'm incredibly honored. Trust me. I'm very, very happy to just be doing what I'm doing and to have this kind of opportunity. It doesn't always come across.
No.
A lot of times we put in work, and for actors, it's like things can be few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you do like 100 auditions and one of them might hit. So to be able to get this show, to land this great opportunity, I just feel like incredibly blessed.
Yeah.
Hashtag blessed.
#blessed. I mean, it's true though. As actors, it's like we spend all of this time and most people don't know it. If you're not in the industry, you don't realize that we spend hours and hours upon every audition, and we book maybe 1 in 100, and then you're just like, here's the thousands of hours that I used that were purely just to build my craft, but I didn't get paid for that.
Exactly. And I read one time that it was like 1 in 63. The stat of auditions, like you do one audition and you
that's so many,
and then you might book one. I was like, I think I've been lucky because I'm like, the stats have been a little bit better than that.
Yeah.
But then the last year has been kind of crazy. But before that and everything, I think you do have to put in a lot of work though. That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
Put in a lot of work. And so we shot Lace in 2021, which is now last year.
Yeah.
And we did that in LA. We shot in about a month, the whole season, all 6 episodes.
Holy Lord.
Insane. We had a crazy shooting schedule, and we just killed it every day. Sometimes we had to you know how it is when you're on set.
Oh, yeah.
sometimes throw things at you like, okay, we're gonna add this scene today. It's like, okay, I'll memorize these 10 pages real quick. and yeah, so it was amazing though. It was like we had great locations, a wonderful cast and crew, and it turned out to be just such an amazing experience. And for to debut on November 4th of 2021, it was successful. A lot of people have been responding well to the show. Everybody's asking, when is season 2? When is season 2? Because there are some major cliffhangers. So we have to. But
we love a cliffhanger. Praying for season 2.
Every episode was like that too. Every episode was like, you have to binge it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a binger, so maybe I'll binge that tonight. Well, tell me what it was like, because obviously you said you started acting after college. So, a lot of people, they start acting when they're 17, 18. Mm-hmm. And it's daunting to be on a big set for the first time. Tell me what it was like being on like your first television role and seeing the amount of people it takes to make a show.
Oh my gosh. The first one, I don't know. The first one where I felt so much pressure because some of the scenes are smaller and there are less people and you don't really see the people, like the people are hiding, like the PAs and stuff. You won't see it. But the first time that I was just like, okay, I'm very intimidated right now was actually when I did SVU. And, I just kind of was, they were like, okay, it's your turn, go. And there were about 100, there must have been, I don't know how many people. It was like a New York City street. There were tons of extras. There were like the whole crew, like these huge umbrellas, like just stuff everywhere, people everywhere. Mariska Hargitay directed my episode, and she was just like,
oh my gosh,
my entire life, like she's just that alone was intimidating.
Yeah.
So, looking at you, okay, all the cameras are set up everywhere, and it's like action, and it's like you have to be ready to perform. So it is daunting. It's intimidating, and but I'm up for the task. I feel like preparation is key as long as you're prepared for it. Even in those nervous moments, you can, if you're really truly prepared and you've worked on it and you know your stuff, then once you get through a few takes, it's kind of like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
And Mariska was like such a huge cheerleader. She's like, you got this, you killed it. Like she's like really, to have a director who's also an actor, to kind of like know what you're going through, it helped a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's always a plus when you have a director that is currently an actor or used to be an actor, because they know what it's like to be on that side, and they know the pressure it involves, because it's not just, you of course want to deliver the best performance that you possibly can, but you also have hundreds of people surrounding you knowing that there's, if you mess up on this take, they're going to have to do it again and they have to stay another 10 minutes tonight and they don't want to do that.
Yes. The pressure. But pressure makes diamonds. That's what
yeah. I recently saw an interview. Tom Holland was talking about how he had been told by somebody early in his career to turn his nervousness into excitement. And I think that's the best thing I've ever heard.
You can use that. It's like the nervous energy. I feel like it comes from the same thing. The nervousness, excitement, it kind of like comes from the same part of you.
Yeah.
Because you can actually use that as fuel to put into the character, to put into the scene. So it's exciting. Like the nervousness is like a / excitement.
Well, yeah, and I think being nervous is also like a good thing, because it means that you care about it. It means that you want to be there. It means that you have a passion for it, and you're not just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, I don't want to get to the point where I'm like, because then you're not challenging yourself. You're not putting any pressure on yourself, and the work's honestly probably not going to be as good unless you are like really challenging yourself and feeling the stomach jitters that you feel.
Well, speaking of challenging yourself, I mean, you're at this great point in your career. You have, these things kind of snowballing now. What is it that you want as an actor to explore? What kind of characters do you want to tackle?
The kind of characters that I want to tackle, I would love to do action heroes, sci-fi, just like some kick-ass characters.
Yeah.
Like anime style, Laura Croft. Like I'm into that kind of stuff. So I love playing an attorney. It's a range, then on SPU, I can go to playing like a stripper, or
Yeah.
you can go to play, you know, it's like, or you can play like a college student or like a waitress, or you know, it's always fun to have that range and to be able to do different things. But like my soul inside wants me to be like an action hero. You
I
know,
see it. I
that's
see
sort of,
it for you.
yeah, all right, cool. Love the whole sci-fi world. I love just, you know, the television right now, just on Netflix and Amazon Prime, like, and who there are so many amazing, fantastical TV
Mhm.
shows. And I'm like, I would love to be a part of that, to have like some kind of special powers or magic or, you know,
Oh
things
yeah.
like that. I would love. I don't see that many Black women doing a lot of stuff like that. You know,
No, I feel like the only one that comes to mind is Vampire Diaries.
yeah, that's one of them. And I've seen some of the newer ones. There's a great show on Amazon Prime, that is The Wheel of Time. That was
Oh
very.
yes.
Have you
I
seen that?
I watched the first couple episodes and I was like, okay, I got to do this, but I need to focus on it, and I haven't been able to.
Yeah, I love that show. They are very. I noticed, I'm like, because a lot of especially the medieval times, they don't really showcase a lot of people. I don't really see myself. I'm like, okay, was
Mhm.
everybody just, you know, white in this, you know, in
No.
this fantasy world? Like, could they at least, you know, like, you know, I get it, but you know, let's get a little bit of inclusion. So I love to see like shows like that that are showing, you know, strong African American characters as well. You know,
Mhm.
that's shown out like Asian, you know, just all different nationalities, and I love to see it. Like, I love to see that.
Well, and
Now,
it's more representative of what the world actually is.
let's be real, right?
I mean, that's
Not
how the
one
world
thing.
actually is. So it
Yeah,
should be that.
inclusion is so important. That's why, you know, even with Lace, just playing a Black female, an attorney who's extremely successful, who's, you know, has all the things that she wants in life. You know, her personal life is a little bit. There's a little bit to be desired. She has
I
a lot
mean,
going on, but
she's a
like,
kick-ass lawyer. Come on.
yeah, thank you. That's important. So, you know, a little Black girl might see that when say, oh, you know, I can be that. Because a lot of times, like when you have a dream as a kid, if you don't see yourself, you're not going to think like, I can actually do this.
Yeah.
So it's just, the inclusion is just so important, you know? So I love to be a part of shows like that, for people to look up to me and say, okay, I can do this.
Um,
La, la.
you mentioned earlier that you have always been an entrepreneur. So tell me a little bit about that and like what you see in the future. Maybe you step behind the camera. What kind of things do you want to do outside of acting?
I see so many things. Oh my gosh. So this is, as far as acting, I just want to go as far as I possibly can. I'm talking Oscars. I'm talking,
Yeah, baby.
you know, major films. I'm talking big networks, and that's my main priority right now. I do see definitely a lot of things entrepreneurially in the future. I see like beauty brands. I see those kind of, you know, endorsements, but like, you know, with my name.
Mm-hmm.
I see being behind the camera. That's something that I have so many ideas just as an actor and like living life. You kind of just think of all these ideas. Oh my God, this would make such a great film, or this would make
Yeah.
such a great series. So to be able to, you know, collaborate with some people and just kind of like step behind the camera and kind of like produce and things like that is an exciting idea for me to think about. So,
Well,
you
and I
know,
think as an actor, it's like we read all these scripts all the time. We know what's out there. We know what people are making, and we know what is still needed.
exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, that's exciting to think about. I mean, I love the acting role, and I also want to still act. Like, I want to just act forever, like Cicely Tyson. You know, she
Heck
was
yeah.
like in her 90s, and she like passed away. Still, like right before that, was like working on films, and
Yeah.
you know, so I think acting is such a beautiful career. Because I was actually talking to somebody about that the other day, like about like, you know, like what happens after acting and retirement and stuff like that. You know, people with the 9 to 5s, they have like to think about retirement. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I want to be able to just live and support myself. But then at the same time, it's like, I just want to always be able to work, you know?
Yeah.
It's something that you just like never stop doing.
Well, on this show, we like to share audition stories of things that have either gone awry, like the recording of this podcast, or um,
It's nice. Listen, we're able to adapt to things.
Yeah, we are. But we like to share stories about, funny things that have happened or bad things that have happened. Do you have anything you'd like to share with the audience?
Oh my gosh, there are so many bad things that have happened to auditions. But let me think of something good. Something funny. Okay, so this was for a really big show, right? And I went in for the audition, and I killed it. Like, I killed the audition. I was like, okay, I was amazing. I was feeling myself after that, right? Then I went to the call. I got the call back. I was like, I knew I was gonna get a call back. Like, I was pulling up with the tears and everything. They came through the tears.
Yes.
And so I got the call back, which I expected. But then when I went to the callback, I sucked. Like, I completely sucked at the callback. So the callback was like 15 people. The audition was like 2 people, like the reporter and like the casting director or the casting assistant or whoever. And it was like at the network. So it was a big deal. So when I went for the callback, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I guess I was just nervous and it just overtook me. I felt like I sucked. And there were 15 people, including the director, producer, and these are like major people who like have several shows on TV right now, who have been around for many years, and it's intimidating. And so I went up there and I felt like it wasn't as good as the callback. I mean, as their initial audition. So as I'm walking out, I hear somebody say, like the major person say, red light. And I was like, as I was walking out, and I couldn't just turn around because they were like,
what does that mean?
Like, what does that mean, red light? I started Googling. Nothing came up. I'm like, what does red light mean? I have to know. And so I was like, they probably were just like, red light, stop. Like, she's out of here or something. Why did they call me back like a couple hours later and said that I booked the job? I was like, oh my gosh. So red light must have meant like, stop.
That's the one.
Found it. Yeah. So I was just like, okay, apparently sometimes when you think you bombed it, like you really killed it, and sometimes when you think you killed it, they never call you. So
yeah. You never know what they want on the other side of that table. Never.
It's just like, okay, I could have sworn I killed that and never got a phone call. And then sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I completely sucked. And then I think because you let it go, sometimes when you feel like you're sucking anyway, you just kind of like let it go and then you're more natural. I'm trying to think of what science is behind it, but.
I mean, it could be. You know that you're sucking when you're sucking. Like, you get halfway through and you're like, oh man, I'm bombing this so bad. Whatever. Nothing I do now is going to save this. Here it is.
Natural human, and that's when you book it. So
yeah, maybe you could be onto something here.
I think so. We should try to get all the auditions and see what happens.
I'm going to intentionally bomb this so that hopefully I sound more human.
Yes. Yeah. That works.
I love that. Well, it has been such a pleasure talking to you and getting to know you, and I'm so excited to see what you do next. Where can people follow you on social media?
So my Instagram is Maryam Basir _. So it's just MaryamBasir _. And everything is pretty much there. All my links are there. Everything is like through Instagram now. So, and I have another film coming out this year, early this year sometime. And they haven't announced the name of it yet, but it's with Mary Hardrick and Amen Joseph. Snowfall.
Wow.
I'm really excited about that.
Well, everyone's going to have to follow you so that we can keep up with your work and see this new movie. And I'm so excited to see your career. I think you have such a bright future ahead and such a great personality and energy and vibe. So thank you again.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this. It was great talking to you, Jillian.
You too. Thank you again to Maryam for coming on the show. We had so many technical issues recording this episode, so thank you for hanging in there with me as we figured out what was wrong with the internet and all of the things that were happening. Thanks again for listening. Tune in next week. I'll have another awesome person on the show. And if you haven't yet, hit up our social media. Those links are in the show notes. And we do a lot of fun, cool graphics over on our Instagram. So hit that up. And as always, thanks for coming in.
The thing that I fought tooth and nail to bring my son into is Dungeons and Dragons. That is the ultimate solution to parenthood.
I'm Alexis Ohanian. In my podcast, Business Dad, I'm hoping to open up the conversation about balancing careers and family. I talked to Rainn Wilson. I wanted to learn more about Rainn's advice to play D&D with your kids. Business Dad is available now, so be sure to listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.